Good morning, students. Welcome back to the biology class. So, in the last class, we started the chapter number 5, that is the morphology of the flowering plants. And we understood the various parts of a flowering plant. We had an introduction of this chapter in the last class, and we learned that morphology. Now, let's break this word morphology, which morpho means the appearance, the outer appearance, and logy or logos means studies. So the branch of biology which deals with the study of the outside feature or the physical appearance from outside, that branch of biology which studies this is called as morphology. So the flowering plants, we all know that angiosperms. So in this chapter we only study the morphology of flowering plants. Then we understood that the whole body of a flowering plant is divisible into two portions. One is the underground portion, the other is the above the ground level portion. The underground portion is called root system, and the above the ground level, this shoot system is present. Then we understood that the root system always develops from a structure which is called as radicle. And then we learned that the radicle can also be written like this. I told you there are variable spellings, both are correct. So radicle is a part of the embryo. You'll be learning that topic in the last of this chapter, because the embryo, seed and embryo will come at the end. So a root system always develops from radicle, and such a root which develops from radicle during germination of a seed is called as the primary root. And primary root will persist in the case of dicots and develop into taproot. But in the case of the monocots, primary root will die and is replaced by fibrous type of roots. Then we learned that primary root will develop the branches called as secondary roots. Secondary roots will further develop branches called as tertiary roots, and finer rootlets will develop on the tertiary root. We learned that there are root cap as well as there are root hairs present. Then we understood that the shoot system consists of the main stem and its branches, and the branches and the stem may carry leaves. Leaves are situated at those points which are called as nodes, and the distance between two nodes or the portion between two nodes is called as the internodes. Then we learned that there is an angle which is called as the axil, and in that axillary angle, axillary bud is present. So shoot system has two types of buds basically. The bud present at the tip is called as the apical bud, and the bud present in the axil is called as the axillary bud. Then we understood that the leaf is the green expanded lateral outgrowth which develop on the stem or may develop on the branch or may develop on the both portions, but always develop on node. And we learned that the leaf has three portions: leaf base, petiole and lamina is also called as the leaf blade. Lamina has venation, veins are present, and it is the main site for photosynthesis as well as for the site for transpiration and site for respiration. Then we learned that the flower is a modified shoot, or you can say modified branch, which is specialized for sexual reproduction, and then its stalk is called as pedicel. And if the flower is present in bundles, then it is called as inflorescence. Again, a topic we'll be learning later. And inflorescence branch or stalk is called as peduncle. Then we learned that the names of the male portion, female portions are androecium and gynoecium, stamen and the pistil and carpel. And these are essential portions for reproduction, and non-essential portions are sepals, which are called in science as calyx, and petals, which are called in science as corolla. Then we learned that inside the stamen, filament and anther is there, and anther carries pollen grains developing inside. In the same manner, carpel carries stigma. Stigma receives the pollen grain at the point of pollination, and there is a long stalk called as style, and then there would be a swollen portion called as ovary. Ovaries carry ovule, and each ovule carries a egg inside. Now the fruit is the modification of the ovary. It develops into fruit after successful pollination and fertilization, and then the ovule inside it will start developing into seed. So it may have one seed, it may have more seeds, and the seed is the ripened ovule. So ovule develop into seed, ovary develop into fruit. And we learned that root, stem and the leaves are concerned with the nutrition and growth, so they are the vegetative parts. Flower, fruit and seeds are concerned with the reproduction, so they are called as the reproductive parts. After this we did the morphology of the root, that root has some particular characteristics. Then we learned the various zones of the root system. Root cap zone, followed by meristematic zone, followed by elongation zone, followed by the root hair zone, and then you have the root zone of maturation. After this we did that the root systems are of two types, taproot system and the adventitious root system. A taproot system can be deep feeder or surface feeder, but adventitious system is always surface feeder. And then we learned the differences, that the taproot system arises from radicle. This developed from any other part, and it remains in the case of it's a persistent primary root in the case of the dicot. This will finish in the case of dicot, so which one will develop? Adventitious will develop. We learned these differences, and we learned that there are modifications of taproot also. So taproot can develop into fleshy roots to store food, various forms we learned, and it can develop nodules for nitrogen fixation, or it may develop branches which come out of the water level and develop holes in there for exchange of gases, which are called as pneumatophores.